friends. Today we're going to talk about the fragrance Elixir from the brand Albait Aldimashqi. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. And this fragrance is a clone of Dior's Sauvage Elixir. There are many clones of Dior Sauvage Elixir. You have Assad from Latafa. Then there is Call of the Wild from Scentadelic, and then there's Elixir from Albait Aldimashqi. And I tried all of them. I have had samples of all of them, and to me this is the closest and even I'd say best performing clone out of all that I tried for Sauvage Elixir. Now before we go into the scent profile, just looking at the presentation, the bottle is pretty neat. All the bottles from this brand have a similar kind of a structure. The glass is heavy, the cap fits well, and presentation wise I think it's okay. Now coming to the price point, right, this one is only I think 1/5 or 1/6 of Sauvage Elixir. So going by the price point, and for this kind of a bottle, for the price point, it's good value for money. Before we spray this and check out its profile and performance, looking at the notes from the official website of Albait Aldimashqi, the top notes, there's cinnamon, nutmeg and cardamom, and there's also a grapefruit. In the middle notes there's lavender, and in the base notes there's licorice, sandalwood, amber, patchouli and Haitian vetiver. Just going by the notes, it's very similar to Sauvage Elixir. Let's have a spray and see how the scent profile is like. I've been testing this out quite a few times in the last week and even before that. I'm just going to spray it again one more time. I already have it here, so I'm just going to, for the opening, I'm going to spray it away. I love the sprayer. It throws out a lot of juice compared to Sauvage Elixir, where the sprays are short bursts. This one gives out quite a bit of juice, and as soon as you spray it, it immediately fills up the room. You can immediately pick it up. I'm just going with one spray now. I already have it on my clothes. Now in the air, right, it's very close to the original. There's not a big difference if you let it dry down, but right at the start is where I think this one differs from Sauvage Elixir, not by a big margin, by a very small margin. The difference being is, in Sauvage Elixir, I think the opening is more sweet, and it's more soapy. You feel the blend is smoother, and also the lavender note is more prominent, I would say, in Sauvage Elixir. Whereas in Albait Aldimashqi's Elixir, the difference is the opening is slightly harsh. So what I get is that licorice note which is there. It's kind of harsh in the opening, and it might be too harsh for some. So if you spray, let's say 4 or 5 sprays or 6 sprays, then the opening for the first 15 minutes to 30 minutes might be overwhelming even for the wearer. You're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed or taken over by this particular scent. Whereas with Sauvage Elixir, that opening is not licorice heavy. This has also got licorice. It comes in the dry down and in the base, and it's very well blended. And never in the scent journey does the licorice note take over the scent profile. But here in this, when it comes to this, I feel initially in the opening, till the first 45 minutes, that licorice note is very prominent, and it gives out that harsh feeling if you smell it up close. But what happens is, in the air, if you go in the air, it's not so harsh. Only if you dig your nose right into your skin, you get that harsh note, but in the air, it's not so harsh. It captures the DNA of Sauvage Elixir very well. Now, the initial blast is heavy. In the mids and in the dry down, it kind of becomes very similar to Sauvage Elixir. The harsh licorice note, it smoothens down a little bit, it goes down. Then the aromatics start coming to play. You get lavender, there's that cinnamon which adds that sweetness, and in the end there's a hint of patchouli. But I'd say for this scent it's more lavender, cinnamon, and licorice, which is very prominent throughout the scent profile. So compared to the other ones, I feel this one has got that more soapy element which is closer to Sauvage Elixir. The other clones, I didn't find them to capture the essence of Sauvage Elixir. Now coming to the performance of this particular scent, this one is almost beast mode, I would say. In the first couple of hours, if you go 4 to 6 sprays, you're going to project very heavily, especially with the amount of juice which is coming out from this. You can see. Okay, room freshener for the day, done and dusted. So you can see that amount of spray, you spray it on yourself, 4 or 5 sprays, it's going to project immensely for the first 2 hours. And if you're in an open place, right, it's going to smell very, very pleasant. But if you're in a closed environment, you're going to choke people out. Okay, trust me, because that initial harshness, it's there. But if you're in an open place, little bit of air around you, it's going to smell very, very beautiful, and people are going to compliment you on this particular fragrance. I had people asking me about this fragrance when I worn it, and even getting comments from people in the house saying that what's that nice smell. Okay, so that way, projection wise, I think for the first 2 hours it's almost beast mode, and even longevity of this is very, very good. So I sprayed this on my clothes yesterday. It's been close to 24 hours. I sprayed it in the evening, and I can still get the smell of elixir from my clothes. So longevity wise, it's very good on clothes. It's lasting close to 24 hours, even more than that. On my skin, I get close to 6 hours, which is pretty decent, and it's also pushing well. So performance, I think for the price point, it's amazing. Okay, it's very good. Now, comparing to, this to the performance of the original is also a beast. You should check out my other video of the where I made a review of this. Here the sillage is unbelievable. It's monstrous, and I'm not just saying that just from my own experience. I got a couple of compliments. One from my neighbor who was on the 40 feet away from me. He said, "Hey, what are you wearing? I can get you in my house. I can smell you in my house." And the other incident was in my gym when I was working out, and some person said I could smell you all the way down to the the ground floor. So a couple of floors they could smell the trail of this particular perfume. So this one, it's a beast when it comes to sillage and even longevity. This one is very close to the original, and for the price, I think hats off to the makers, Albait Aldimashqi, for trying to match the performance, the longevity, and also the scent profile of Sauvage Elixir. Now, occasions to wear. This is a dense scent. I feel it's suited for cooler environments. It could be an air-conditioned environment. It could be in the evenings. It will work very well in the winters. But in the daytime, and if it's very hot, sultry, this might be choking. So I wouldn't wear this during the daytime when the weather is warm. I reserve it for cool occasions. You can wear this to office, provided you don't overspray. If you're in an open environment, you can go 6 sprays, but if in office, maybe 3 sprays, 2 or 3 sprays, it's going to project a little bit and create a nice, unintrusive scent bubble around you, and that's what you want in the office. So I would say this one is slightly leaning on the mature side because of the harsh note in the start. Some people who cannot take it might be really off-put by it, but if you're confident enough, you can definitely carry that and work it to your advantage. Is this a blind buy? I would say yes, it's a blind buy. If you like the profile of Sauvage Elixir, if you already have Sauvage Elixir and you love it, then definitely this is a blind buy. You're getting it at 1/5 the cost, and it's performing almost as equal. And this one is expensive. You do not want to waste most of the juice. You want an alternative just to use it more frequently and for rough use. Then this one is a great blind buy. But otherwise, If you're new to perfumery, maybe you may not like this because it is a little bit complex. It's hard in the start, so then I would say it's not immediately mass appealing, and you may not like it at first. But if you have a mature nose, maybe you will definitely like this. And for the price point, you can definitely, I think, buy this. I picked this up for around 2000 Indian rupees, or even less than that, which is close to around, I think, $20–25. It's definitely a bargain for the bottle, for the performance, for the scent profile. Definitely a bargain. And compliments, yes, in the air it smells very sweet and nice. People around you can definitely pick it up, and it's a pleasing scent profile, so it will definitely garner compliments. Do let me know what you think about this particular fragrance. There are other fragrances also from this house that I'm yet to try. Hopefully I'll do so in the future and do a review. Do drop in a comment, and please like and subscribe. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.